Hello and good morning. We're in week 2. Don't forget you have math fees due. See me the last 5 minutes. Also, your homework for the week is due tonight as the last night. Find the next numbers and use the common difference. Well, for this right here, you have to subtract these two. So 14 minus 1 gives you 13. And then you have to subtract those. 6 more makes 20. So that's going to be 31, 37, I believe it is. And then you got to use your calculator probably for this. And then you subtract again. 37 minus 13, I think, is 24. And you keep subtracting until you get the common difference. Make sure you can do that. Have your calculator out always. Turn to page 18. Let's look at the top of that page there. So in your book, reach underneath, and let's go to page 18. Okay, now on page 18, we already talked about this one. You notice that it's a square. This is the first term, second term, so 2 squared is 4. Third term, 3 squared is 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the formula is n squared, whatever term it is, and then n minus 1. So if it's the third term, 3 minus 1 is 2. That gives you these 2 extra pieces right there. And that's how you do that. Make sure you understand that. The next thing, we're going to watch a video on the number, the special number here, and what it is. Let me show it to you on this page right here. This guy right here, observe that if you give 2 rabbits, okay, the first month, nothing happens because they're so young. But when they mature, okay, then they start to multiply in the 3rd month, okay, and then the babies start to multiply. So the pattern, and his number is, on the 1st month, you have 1. The 2nd month, they're now mature, but they have no offspring. Now you add these 2 numbers up. In the 3rd month, you now have double. And then you add these 2 up, and you get 3. Now you have triples. You add this up, and you get 5. You add these 2 up, and you get 8. And that's the pattern. You add up the 2 previous ones, and that's his number right there. So we're going to watch a little video on that sequence, and I think the sequence does something like this, kind of like the shape of a snail. All right, and then next, you're going to take like the 7th term of that sequence, and you're going to do F6 and F5. On page 22, let's take a look at number 14. All right, so here you have a pattern. If you have 3 dots, it forms a triangle. If you have 4 dots, it does not. 5, it does not. 6, it forms a triangle, and so on and so forth. If you have 10 dots, you can form a triangle. If you have 4 dots or 9 dots, you form a square, right? 4 times 4 is 16. 5 times 5 is 25. Down here is a pentagon, and I think there's a formula for that, okay? And I think it's on the previous page, and here it is right here. That formula right there is for a pentagonal figure, okay? There's the formula for a triangular figure, and there's the formula for the square figure. Okay, so today we're doing 1 through 14, page 23. Make sure you draw diagrams and show work. We're going to turn our attention now to college algebra. So let's take a look at that. Okay, so on college algebra, first of all, your homework is due. You have math fees due. Let's take a look at this one right here. You see this, only the 5 is to the negative 2, not that negative in front of it. So you're going to get a negative 1 over 5 squared, which equals a negative 1 over 25. And that's how you do that. Remember, when you drop it down, the exponent changes. Or for that matter, if you drop it up or raise it up. This one right here, the whole thing is to the -2. So it's going to be 1 over -5 to the +2, and that's going to be 1 over 25. Okay, number 5, anything to the 0 power is 1, so that becomes a 1. The y to the 5th, I'm going to move down, that becomes a negative, so I get y to the +2. 7 minus 5, and I'm done with that one. There are 4 laws of exponents. I want you to write those down. All right, so let's go to page 26. Open up a book. This one right here, first of all, it's not in standard form. Standard form means this one would come first. So you'd have to rewrite it. And then the next one would be this one because of the exponent, and that's a plus. This one would be next, and then -2. That would be called standard form. Notice that the exponents decrease, and this one should be 5x to the 7th power. So it's going from 7, skips a bunch, goes to 2, and then it goes to 1, and then it goes to 0. X to the 0 power is 1. So it's understood to have that, but we don't write that. Okay, let's keep moving. This one right here with the negative on the outside, you have to distribute that negative sign. So a negative times a positive is going to make a negative. A negative times a negative is going to make a positive. And then you combine like terms. So this one plus this one is going to give you a 5x to the 4th power. Do not do anything with the exponents because you're not multiplying. And then finally this one and that one is going to be 5 minus 1, which is going to be 4. So it's going to be plus 4x squared, and that's how you do that. You should know how to do FOIL, but if you don't, I'm going to do it with you. So all you do for FOIL is you take this one to both of these. So let's do that. So 2 times 1 is 2, and then x1 and x1 makes 2x squared. This one and this one gives me a plus 10x, and then I go to the next number. So that gives me a minus 4x, and then this and this gives me a minus 20, and then I combine these terms. When I combine those terms, I get plus 6x, like this. And there it is. And it's in standard form. 2, 1, and then again 0. Okay? All right. There's a chart on page 28. Copy that chart right now. And here's your work for today. Make sure you check your answers. You might have to do some reading to answer those first few questions, so I would save those for last. Have a good morning.